Now we review the 2024 film Imaginary. I imagine this film isn't very good. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I am Richard. This is Random Street Theater, and I have seen Imaginary. Yes, it's a film about this chick, right? And she marries this dude. She's a children's author and an artist, and she marries this dude who already has kids, and they wind up moving back to her childhood home, and there's a subplot about her dad being nuts, and yeah, the rest you can kind of infer from the title. Alright, so for every 1,000 subscribers I get, I do purchase one of these bracelets from 4Ocean. 4Ocean pulls a pot of trash out of the ocean every time I do that. You'd be so kind as to comment, like, and subscribe. You'd be doing your part for a better world. Let's get into Imaginary. Now, look, okay, so we all know that the imaginary friend plot has been absolutely beat to death. And this is not one of those cool movies where what you imagine isn't, you know, what's real. It's just you're a psycho. It's one of those, yeah, imaginary critters are real. Okay. And this particular imaginary critter is like, I eat imagination, and that imagination was so very tasty that I want it back. I want it forever. I'm hungry. It is the smorgasbord of imaginations. So yes, right. It'll make sense if you see the movie. Look, when they come out there and they say, you know, these are things that exist in other cultures, and they try to make this business make sense. You do realize this is the time of the internet, and you're not going to have one person sitting in their room researching all this nonsense. You're going to have a community of it. So the elderly, they're called an oracle character. They come out there and they basically tell you what's going on. And that's, many horror movies have them. In Nightmare on Elm Street, the mom was, at least to a certain extent, the oracle character. She went out there and said, you know, look, what happened is there was this serial killer, and we, the parents, went and burnt him alive. So there's an oracle character in this film. That oracle character is also obsessed with imaginary friends. And apparently, you know, if you have an imaginary friend as a kid, that imaginary friend might be real, alright? And, yeah, I mean, it's a common plot. But in this world, imaginary friends can send you on a quest to collect some items and do some things, and then enter their world, which is part of the plot. You know, apparently entering the world was the main instigator of this particular story way back in the day when the mom had the imaginary friend, and now, you know, the kid tries to enter this world. And again, why is it that you don't know more about this if people do that? There would be others. It's one of those things. It's like, yeah, back when Michael Myers became a supernatural being, or Jason Voorhees became a supernatural being, it was like, okay, you know, it's the 80s, we don't have a lot of information, and it might be forgotten that these things run around. But now in our modern day, if you're going to set something in our modern day, there would be more information you'd be able to find. So that's kind of, it's a weak, done premise, going along the lines of a lot of tropes, and it's just, there's nothing new in this film. Now, the special effects are serviceable, alright? When you see monsters, those monsters are scary enough. When those monsters do things, sometimes their motivation seems a little strange, and that's one of those things about this particular movie, is that it does not play on the concept. Like when you look at vampires, for example, a vampire kills to survive. Well, most of us kill to, unless you're a vegan, and even then, some people think killing plants is wrong. So, you know, most of us kill to survive. We consume other creatures. Vampires just have to consume people, and many of them, they're still the same person they were when they became a vampire. They have the same morality, and they don't like the concept of killing people. They try to avoid hurting people. These are generally the good guys, and the bad guys are the ones that revel in the fact that they have to eat people. Well, the badness in this particular film seems to act bad just to be bad, or to act bad to remove that which is now useless to them. There's no reason for that particular action other than to add some, you know, some violence to the script in this sort of PG-13 sort of a film. So, whereas on the one hand, the things start to add up at the end, they're just not that well thought out. Now look, let's try to understand here that this is a horror movie, and it's in vogue to hate on these movies. Okay, look, this is a popcorn movie. It's serviceable. It's not supposed to be an Oscar-winning performance. It's not supposed to be an award contender. It's supposed to be a PG-13 horror movie made to scratch an itch. And it does that, in my opinion. Okay? I think that the movie is okay. Now, I would say that there are a lot of horror movies that I would, you know, think are lesser than this. I think that, for example, The Disappointments Room, The Forest, and The Boy, all the movies, are lesser than this. Okay, so as horror movies go, it's not terrible. It's just not good. It belongs in the lower middle of your watch list. Middle of your watch list if you're a horror movie geek. If you love horror movies, you're probably going to be a little disappointed by this one, because we live in a time where horror movies are kind of watered down. But, I mean, if you're the kind of dude that has a girlfriend or boyfriend or significant other who you like to watch horror movies with, but they can't handle the blood, guts, and gore, well, then this is an acceptable film. Every film is right for somebody. There are some people who get high off their own supply, and they make movies, and they love those movies. I have met those people, and whereas I would call them D-bags, they make films for them. They're proud of what they do. So, yeah. Again, very much a middle of the road, not a lot of chances taken, fairly run-of-the-mill movie. Middle of your watch list, not great, not absolute trash, but certainly if you're not into horror movies, you can skip it. But that's just my opinion, and I'd love to hear yours down in the comments below. I, of course, am Richard.
Greetings, humans! It's your old pal Randall the Rat again, and I'm taking a break from eating your delicious face to remind you to comment, like, and subscribe. And why should you do that? Well, for one thing, see this bling here? That awesome, isn't it? Yeah, got a dragon on it. This is what you get if you go to the Conqueror and start the Great Wall of China Challenge. Yeah. Walk long enough, bike long enough, you can plant 5 trees and get this awesome necklace, which the owner of this channel, Richard, has done for you, because he wanted to plant 5 trees and get an awesome necklace. And for every 1,000 subscribers he gets, he also buys a bracelet from 4Ocean, and they pull a pound of trash out of the ocean. So the more money he has, the more of these challenges he buys from the Conqueror, and the more trees he plants for you. So if you comment, you like and subscribe, he can buy more bracelets, pull more trash out of the ocean, and plant more trees. Isn't that awesome? Shouldn't you be doing that then? Be smart. Click that like button, or I'll eat you. Might eat you anyway. You look delicious.